All right, so have you ever heard of someone being in the right place at the right time? Like, imagine being a Stanford freshman when Y Combinator first launched, knowing it was going to be huge and having the confidence to tell Paul Graham himself,
I'll be back next year.
yeah, I'll be back next year. That's Sam Altman,
Talk about chutzpah.
the guy whose brain we're picking today.
It's not just ambition, though, right? It's that intuition, like a crystal ball. He saw Y Combinator's potential before anyone else, and that same instinct seems to be guiding him now at OpenAI.
Totally nailed it. So you sent us this awesome interview with Altman where he spills the tea on his journey. From those early Y Combinator days to leading OpenAI, the folks behind ChatGPT, it's a goldmine of insights on AI startups and building game-changing tech.
And our mission for this deep dive, it's to extract those golden nuggets and see how they apply to you. Whether you're an entrepreneur or just curious about the future of tech, there's something here for everyone.
Okay, let's unpack this idea of extreme conviction that Altman keeps bringing up. He talks about how everyone thought OpenAI was nuts for being so gung-ho about deep learning when the AI experts were like, nope, that's a dead end.
Total rebels swimming against the tide. What's fascinating is they actually compared deep learning to discovering a brand new element on the periodic table. That's how fundamental they believed it was to the future of AI.
It's wild how they stuck to their guns even when everyone was doubting them. Makes you think, have you ever had a gut feeling that others dismissed? What if you'd gone all in on that?
That's the challenge Altman throws down. It's not enough to just have an idea. You have to have the courage to act on it, even when it feels like you're the only one who believes in it. And speaking of action, OpenAI didn't just talk the talk. They went all in on scaling their deep learning models.
Right. Their strategy was basically more is more when it came to AI, which apparently no one else was doing at the time.
It's almost like they stumbled onto the secret formula. Everyone else was obsessed with finding the perfect algorithm, the most elegant solution. But Altman and his team just kept cranking up the power, feeding their models more and more data. It was a radical approach that flew in the face of conventional wisdom. But look at where it got them.
Okay, so how do we translate this scaling mindset to our own lives? What could we achieve if we stopped seeing boundaries as limits and just went for it? Makes you rethink the whole work smarter, not harder thing, doesn't it?
It's not about working harder necessarily. It's about pushing beyond what we think is possible. Like, what if instead of trying to be super clever, we just focused on doing more, learning more, experimenting more?
Totally. Now, Altman's journey wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Remember Loopt? His first startup, a location-sharing app way before smartphones were even a thing.
Talk about being ahead of the curve. Although it ultimately didn't take off, Altman talks about the lessons learned from Loopt as invaluable. This is where the idea of reframing failure comes in. Instead of seeing it as wasted time, he sees it as a crucial stepping stone.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. Sometimes you need those oops moments to set you up for something bigger, but it takes a certain mindset to see the value in those setbacks, right?
Absolutely. It's about asking yourself, what did I learn from this? How can I use this experience to make better decisions in the future? That's what sets people like Altman apart. They don't let failure define them. They use it as fuel to propel them forward.
So this brings us to Altman's current outlook on startups.
Yeah.
He's super pumped about the current landscape, saying this whole AI revolution is a seismic shift like the internet boom or the rise of mobile.
And here's where things get interesting for you, especially if you're feeling that entrepreneurial itch. Altman uses this brilliant analogy comparing big companies to Facebook totally missing the boat on mobile too, stuck in their old ways to see what's coming. He thinks a lot of them are going to miss the AI wave too.
He's basically saying the old guard is going to get disrupted big time, which opens up a ton of opportunities for startups.
Right. Exactly. He sees startups as the nimble speedboats that can navigate these choppy waters while the big ships are stuck trying to turn around.
Right.
That's why he's so bullish on the potential for AI-powered startups right now.
So for someone looking to ride this wave, what's the key takeaway?
Altman's message is crystal clear. Bet on AI. Don't treat it as just another piece of tech. It's a fundamental shift in how we build and create. He sees it as the foundation for a whole new generation of companies that will solve problems we can't even imagine yet.
Speaking of imagining, he actually laid out this 5-level roadmap for artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
Yeah.
It's a wild ride from level 1, which is where we are now with chatbots like ChatGPT, all the way up to level 5, which is full-blown organizational intelligence.
This roadmap is mind-blowing. At level 5, you're talking about companies operating with a level of intelligence that dwarfs anything humans can achieve. Imagine the possibilities, but also the potential risks.
Right. It's both exhilarating and a little terrifying.
Yeah.
But here's a real-world example that shows we might be further along this roadmap than we think. A startup at a recent Y Combinator hackathon used GPT-4, OpenAI's most advanced model, to design an airfoil that actually generated lift.
That's right. They basically created a wing using AI, which is pretty darn impressive. It suggests that AI's problem-solving abilities are already exceeding our expectations in some areas. And it begs the question, what other seemingly impossible problems are just waiting to be cracked by AI?
It's like we're on the cusp of something truly revolutionary. So to bring it back to our listeners, what's the big takeaway here? What's the call to action?
Altman's message is simple. Don't underestimate the power of AI. Whether you're building a business, pursuing a creative passion, or simply trying to understand the world around you, AI is going to play a pivotal role in the years to come. And the sooner you start exploring its potential, the better.
Now, I know we've thrown a lot of information at you, so let's take a moment to digest. What are your initial thoughts on Altman's vision for the future of AI? What resonates with you the most?
We'll be back in a jiffy to unpack some of Altman's more thought-provoking predictions and discuss how these ideas could impact your life in tangible ways. Welcome back. Before we took a moment to gather our thoughts, we were discussing OpenAI's 5 levels of AGI, culminating in what they call Level 5, Organizational Intelligence.
Yeah, that one still have my head spinning. What does it even mean for an entire organization to be intelligent? Like, does the building start talking to us?
It's a pretty wild concept, right? Imagine a company where every single decision, every process, every interaction is powered by AI, operating at a level of intelligence that's way beyond anything we humans can comprehend.
Okay, now that's starting to sound a little unnerving. Like something out of a sci-fi movie.
I get it. It's easy to jump to those dystopian scenarios when we start talking about AI this advanced, but remember, the future isn't set in stone. It's up to us to shape it, to ensure that AI is used for good.
You're right. It's about harnessing the power of AI responsibly and ethically, not letting it run amok and take over the world like in those movies.
Exactly. And Altman emphasizes this point. He truly believes that AGI has the potential to solve some of the world's biggest problems, from climate change to poverty, things we've been struggling with for ages.
He even mentions the possibility of establishing a space colony, which, let's be honest, sounds pretty darn cool.
It does. But even beyond the sci-fi elements, what strikes me about Altman's vision is his deep optimism about human ingenuity. He sees AI not as a threat, but as a tool to amplify our abilities and help us reach new heights.
Yeah, his enthusiasm is contagious. It makes you believe that anything is possible, even those things that seem impossible right now.
And that's the kind of thinking we need, especially now. We're living in a time of crazy technological advancements, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed or even scared about what the future holds.
But Altman's message is one of hope and empowerment. He's not saying we should just sit back and let technology dictate our future.
He's saying we're not passive bystanders in this technological revolution. We have the power to shape it, to steer it towards a future that benefits all of humanity.
But to do that, we need to be informed, engaged, and willing to challenge the status quo. We can't just accept things as they are and assume technology will solve everything for us.
That brings us back to the power of conviction, something Altman embodies. Remember how OpenAI's early belief in deep learning was considered almost heretical by many in the AI community?
Yeah, they were going against the grain, betting on a technology that most experts had written off.
But they stuck to their guns, trusted their data, and ultimately proved their doubters wrong. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the most groundbreaking ideas are the ones that initially meet with the most resistance.
It's a lesson that applies to so much more than just AI. Whether you're an artist, an entrepreneur, or just someone with a dream, don't let the naysayers hold you back.
Absolutely. Trust your instincts, chase your passions, and remember that the only true failure is giving up on what you believe in.
That being said, conviction alone isn't enough. You also need to be willing to learn from your mistakes. Adapt to changing circumstances, and be open to new information. No one gets it right on the first try.
Altman is the first to admit that his first startup Loopt ultimately wasn't a success.
But he emphasizes the invaluable lessons he learned from that experience about building a team, navigating the market, and weathering those inevitable ups and downs of entrepreneurship.
Exactly. While it's important to have that unwavering belief in your vision, you also need a dose of humility. Recognize when you're wrong and adjust course as needed. It's that balance between conviction and adaptability that often separates those who succeed from those who don't.
It's a valuable skill not just for entrepreneurs, but for anyone navigating life in this crazy, constantly changing world.
Couldn't agree more. Now let's shift gears and zoom in on something Altman is clearly passionate about: the transformative potential of AI for startups.
He's basically saying we're in the midst of a massive platform shift as big as the internet or mobile, and that startups have this incredible opportunity to ride this wave.
He even compares established companies to Facebook completely missing the boat on mobile. Too stuck in their old ways, too slow to adapt. He believes a lot of them are going to miss the AI wave too.
It's like they're those giant cruise ships trying to make a U-turn while the speedboats zip past them. And those speedboats are the startups, right?
Exactly. Startups have this inherent advantage. They're agile, they can iterate quickly, and they're not afraid to take risks. They don't have the baggage of legacy systems and old ways of thinking that weigh down larger companies.
So for someone itching to dive into the startup world, what's the key takeaway from all of this?
Altman's message is loud and clear. Bet on AI. Don't think of it as just another piece of technology. It's a fundamental shift in how we create, how we solve problems, how we build the future. He sees it as the foundation for a whole new wave of companies that will tackle challenges we haven't even thought of yet.
And he's pumped about the speed at which these startups can operate, iterating and adapting to new AI developments in days, not months or years. That speed is a huge advantage in a field that's evolving so rapidly.
It's crucial. Startups have that ability to move quickly, experiment fearlessly, and pivot when needed. That agility is essential for unlocking the full potential of AI, and it's something larger companies often struggle with.
Okay, so let's talk about some specific ways startups are already using AI to build innovative products and services. What are some real-world examples that illustrate this point?
One example Altman highlights is the use of GPT-4 for code generation. It's pretty mind-blowing to think that AI can actually write software now.
Yeah, it's like having a robot programmer on your team.
And this is a game changer for startups, especially those with limited resources who need to move fast. Imagine being able to build a prototype of your app in a fraction of the time it would normally take.
That's the power of AI-powered code generation.
Yeah.
But it's not just about churning out code faster, right?
Right. AI can also help startups with things like identifying bugs, optimizing performance, and even suggesting new features. It's like having a team of expert software engineers at your disposal.
And this is just the beginning. As AI models get more advanced, we can expect even more innovative applications in the startup world.
Absolutely. Another area where AI is making a huge impact is in data analysis. Startups are using AI to sift through mountains of data, finding insights that would be impossible for humans to spot on their own.
That's especially valuable for startups in fields like e-commerce, where understanding customer behavior is crucial for success. It's all about knowing what your customers want before they even know it themselves.
Exactly. AI can help personalize recommendations, optimize pricing, and even predict future trends. It's like having a crystal ball that shows you where the market is heading.
This ability to leverage data gives startups a serious edge, especially in crowded markets where standing out is key. It's not just about having a good product, it's about understanding your customers better than anyone else.
Couldn't agree more. And it's not just code and data. We're also seeing AI used by startups in creative fields.
Oh yeah, like what? Give me some examples.
Well, in marketing, for example, AI is helping startups create more engaging content, target their audiences with laser precision, and even automate those tedious social media tasks.
It's like having a 247 marketing team working behind the scenes.
Exactly. And in design, AI is helping startups create stunning visuals, generate logos, and even design entire websites. It's like having an entire creative agency at your fingertips.
It's amazing how AI is democratizing access to tools and resources that were once only available to big companies with tons of money.
It's leveling the playing field and empowering startups to compete on a global scale. And this is just a glimpse of what's possible. As AI keeps evolving, we can expect even more creative and innovative applications to pop up.
It's clear that for startups, the future is AI-powered. Those who embrace this technology will be the ones shaping the world of tomorrow.
And those who hesitate might get left behind. But there's a crucial point Altman raises that I want to touch on before we move on. He cautions against falling into the trap of thinking that just because you're using AI, you can ignore the fundamentals of building a solid business.
It's easy to get blinded by the shiny new tech and forget that you still need to create something people actually want and are willing to pay for.
He's basically saying, don't get so caught up in the AI hype that you forget the basics of building a successful company. AI is a powerful tool, but it's not a magic wand.
You can have the most advanced AI in the world, but if you don't have a viable business model and a product that solves a real problem, you're not going to make it.
This is a crucial reminder for anyone building an AI-powered startup. Don't lose sight of the fundamentals. You still need a solid business plan, a clear understanding of your market, and a product that people genuinely need.
So let's flip the script and turn the conversation to you, our listeners. What's resonating with you most about Altman's vision for the future of AI? What are you excited about and what concerns you?
We'll be back in a moment to wrap up this deep dive with our final thoughts and a thought-provoking question to ponder as you continue exploring the world of AI.
Welcome back. We've been exploring Sam Altman's thoughts on AI, and man, I'm feeling pretty inspired. It's like this energy of possibility is just crackling in the air. What about you?
Yeah, definitely contagious,
Yeah.
One thing that really stuck with me was Altman's almost casual mention of AI potentially solving all of physics. He just drops it in there like it's no big deal.
Right. It's like, oh yeah, just another Tuesday for superintelligent AI. But seriously, think about that for a second. It's mind-boggling.
It really is. It speaks to the sheer scale of ambition surrounding AI. We're not just talking about automating tasks or making things a little more efficient. We're talking about pushing the boundaries of human knowledge itself.
So let's bring it back down to earth for a moment. For those of us who aren't, building the next ChatGPT or planning a space colony, what does all of this mean? How can we apply these ideas to our own lives, even if we're not tech wizards?
That's a great question. I think one of the most valuable takeaways from Altman, even if you're not a techie, is his emphasis on finding your tribe, your people. The ones who challenge you, inspire you, and support you on your journey.
He learned that firsthand at Y Combinator, right? Surrounded by other driven, ambitious founders. That kind of energy must have been incredible.
Exactly. And he believes that having that kind of supportive network is crucial for anyone who wants to achieve something big, no matter what field you're in. It's about surrounding yourself with people who believe in your vision, even when you start to doubt yourself.
It makes me think about the importance of mentors, too. Having someone who's been there, done that, to guide you along the way.
Absolutely. Altman talks about the impact Paul Graham had on him as a mentor in those early days. But mentors can come in many forms, right? A teacher, a colleague, a friend, anyone who pushes you to be your best and helps you navigate those inevitable challenges.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Sam Altman and AI, here's my big takeaway from you. Don't underestimate the power of your own ideas.
I love that. It's easy to get caught up in the hype surrounding AI and think, oh, this is just for geniuses and tech giants. But that's not Altman's message at all. He's saying this is for everyone.
Exactly. He's encouraging everyone to dive in, experiment, and explore how AI can be used to solve problems, create new things, and make a positive impact on the world.
He envisions a future where AI is democratized, where anyone with a good idea and a willingness to learn can harness its power. You don't need a PhD in computer science to make a difference in the age of AI.
So who knows? Maybe one of our listeners will be the next person to use AI to unlock a groundbreaking scientific discovery or build the next billion-dollar company. The possibilities are truly endless.
Here's a final thought to leave you with. Altman is most excited about the prospect of AI solving all of physics. It's a bold vision, to say the least, but what about you? What seemingly impossible problem are you excited to see AI tackle? What world-changing applications are you dreaming of?
Because the future of AI isn't something that's happening to us. It's something we're all creating together. So keep learning, keep exploring, keep pushing the boundaries. Who knows what amazing things we can achieve when we combine human ingenuity with the power of AI.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into Sam Altman's insights on AI. We hope this conversation has sparked your curiosity and given you some food for thought as you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving technological landscape.